Okay, for today's video, we are going to go over a lot of Safari Allosaurus figures. Two are the Wild Safari line and two are the Carnegie collection. This is another one of those videos that I'm filming on the same day, as well as that Beast of the Mesozoic T-Rex video, which was a lot of fun to make, so I'll definitely link that video. And then, as well as the Jurassic World Hammond collection Concavenator. So, if you want to see either of those videos, I'll put a link to those two. So, with this being the third video today, this is when I'm really excited to record, though. Probably not as much as the Beast of the Mesozoic T-Rex, just because that's a figure I've waited so long to review, but this is still 4 figures I've wanted for a while, and I'm so glad to get all 4. Yeah, let's just get right into it. So, I want to start by saying, for people that collect dinosaur figures, that you probably need to start using eBay if you don't already, because in my opinion, it's probably the best place to get retired figures, especially if you can find good sellers that have good reviews. And this seller that I bought this lot from is a really great seller. I've bought lots of figures from him. I'll put a link to maybe a few of those figures that I bought from him, but I bought a lot of great figures from this seller, so that's what I recommend. Finding a good seller on eBay, and if they stock stuff, you know that they're a good seller, so it just works out. And especially because some of these retired Safari figures, literally you can't find anywhere else other than eBay. That's why I recommend using eBay. But try to get good figures, and there's some knockoffs of some figures, so just be careful. But for the most part, you can get some really great figures that you can't find anywhere else on eBay. And why I bought this Allosaurus lot is Allosaurus is just one of my favorite dinosaurs. It or Albertosaurus is my clear-cut top 2. Allosaurus has been one of my favorites for as long as I can remember. After watching Walking with Dinosaurs and Big Al and stuff, and other dinosaur documentaries, and Allosaurus just being such a cool dinosaur to me, Allosaurus has and always probably will be one of my favorite dinosaurs. I love the crest. It has the claws. It's got stuff that I like about T-Rex, but with added stuff that just makes it even cooler to me. So, Allosaurus, like I said, probably is going to be one of my favorite dinosaurs for, ever. So, with there being a chance for me to get 4 Allosaurus figures from one of my favorite companies that I didn't have any of, it was like a clear get for me. And with this lot, I will have one of every single variant of the Safari Ltd Allosaurus except for the most recent one, and besides color variants, because color variants, like this, I'm getting one of the 2 color variants of this, and Allosaurus is, I'm just going to go back to Allosaurus being my favorite dinosaurs. Allosaurus is one of such of my favorite dinosaurs that this figure is and has been my channel mascot. Just because, it fits my channel name, Jurassic Theropods now, because we're talking about Jurassic Theropods, or we're talking about prehistoric animals, but Jurassic Theropods now, with my initials being JTN, Jurassic Theropods now just made sense. And Allosaurus being one of my favorite theropods that happen to live in Jurassic, it made all too much sense to be my mascot. So yeah, Allosaurus has and always will be one of my favorite dinosaurs. So yeah, let's just get right into it. So we're going to go over the 4 Allosaurus figures, plus a surprise mystery dinosaur that I got thrown in as a free gift. So it was a complete surprise to me, and that's what I'm saying about finding great sellers. This seller, I was able to get a lot of dinosaurs that I couldn't find from many places, and I was able to get an additional figure for free. You don't find many sellers that good, but luckily I was able to. So we're going to randomly draw figures out of the box until we get them all out. So, okay, we'll start with this one. This is a good one to start with. This is the most recent Allosaurus in the lot. This is the Safari Ltd Allosaurus. This one might be still in production. If it is, this is the only Allosaurus figure still in production in this lot. There is a newer, more recent one that I want to get that looks really, really awesome. But yeah, this is a really great figure. I really like it. And this one's brand new. It's still got the little plastic piece. It's still got the little tags. It's still got both of the tags. So yeah, really love this figure. And a great little addition. Allosaurus being one of my favorite dinosaurs, and I really just don't have a ton of Allosaurus for it to be one of my favorite dinosaurs. I've got a few Schleich models, a few Papo, a few Jurassic. I've got one from almost every company, but I was glad to finally get this model, because this is one I've always liked, but just hadn't ever picked up, because I hadn't seen it in a store, or just hadn't got it online yet. Okay, next up we have the, this is a really good one. the Carnegie collection. This is the last Carnegie collection one. They made the Carnegie collection line has 2 Allosaurus figures. This one, as well as an older one that's way more outdated, but I really like this figure. I mean, both of these figures are outdated just because they're standing on their tails for one and some other things, but I really like this figure. I mean, it's definitely not perfect and definitely isn't the most accurate Allosaurus based on like the pose and just the head sculpt and everything. Definitely this one being more accurate as far as like proportions and just the crest and stuff. But I still really like this figure, and I definitely like this color variant more. There's a gray one that doesn't look as good to me, and then there was this green one, and I've always liked this green one better, so I was glad to get it. Okay, next up we have, oh, the other Carnegie collection Allosaurus. This is that bigger, older one I was talking about. Yeah, this is one of the really old ones. It kind of pairs well with that Carnegie collection, the old T-Rex. I'll show that off at some point in this video. But yeah, another Allosaurus figure that I really like, even though, like I said, this one's crazy, super outdated, and it's the same color scheme as the more recent Carnegie one, even though they're both outdated, both very outdated at this point. And then one last Allosaurus. So since I said there was 2 Carnegie, and since there's 3 Wild Safari ones, you can kind of guess which this one is, but there's 2 color variants of this one as well, and it's the yellow Allosaurus. I honestly prefer, so this one's actually the adult version to this baby one that I recently showed off in a video. I'll put a link to the video where I got this baby one, but they also have an adult version of this one, my channel mascot one, and this one's harder to find from my experience, but I definitely want to try to get that one at some point. I know I'm not crazy about getting variants, but that specific one I would like to get at some point. But yeah, I really like this Allosaurus. Honestly, I probably prefer the Wild Safari ones as far as accuracy, but just as far as the figures, I don't know. I really love these Carnegie ones, even though they are inaccurate. But yeah, really like this lot a lot, especially pairing this baby one up with the adult. Just need to get the adult version of this one. But this green one with the orange head is just hard to find the adult one of. Even the baby ones, the yellow one seems to be the easier baby one to get. But yeah, now we'll show off some other figures. Oh wait, I forgot about the mystery figure. Yeah, so we'll show off the mystery figure right now. So for the last figure, the mystery figure, the extra figure they throw in, it is the Safari Ltd T-Rex. I think this one's actually still in production, even though it is outdated. I think it's just one of their like hot sellers. Like they've had it for a while and it just sells good. But not the, like I said, pretty outdated for a T-Rex. Definitely not the best T-Rex figure, even like one of the, honestly, probably the worst Safari T-Rexes. But I do like this figure, and especially as a free throw-in, because I mean, this is probably not one I would have ordered unless I got it in a lot like this. So I was glad to get it as a throw-in. But yeah, it made a nice like freebie figure. Definitely was happy to get it as a, because it honestly, I kind of got worried at first that I ordered the wrong lot or they shipped the wrong lot, because when I started opening the package, I saw that figure and I was like, oh no, they shipped the wrong figure. But taped around it, it said free gift. So I was super happy whenever I read that, especially once I found out all my other figures were for sure shipped in. And I didn't think the seller that I ordered from would make a mess up, just because they're such a good seller and I've ordered from them multiple times. But was definitely glad to get this as a throw-in. And with this lot, like I said, the color variants, which I don't really care about, but the new Safari Ltd Allosaurus, I'll throw in an image of it at the end of this video. Such an awesome figure. Definitely am going to try to get it at some point. I'll probably order from Safari pretty soon and get another lot of figures, and I'll definitely try to get that one if it's in stock. But the new Allosaurus looks great, and it's probably the most accurate one. And I don't know if I'm going to like individually review any of these figures. I'll go over some basic information that I go over in individual figure reviews. So Allosaurus is, you know, one of the large predators in the Morrison Formation, where it would have competed with other large theropods like Ceratosaurus, Torvosaurus, and possibly Saurophaganax. There's some paleontologists that think Saurophaganax is just a larger Allosaurus, but then there's some that have it as its own dinosaur. So there is some debate as to whether or not Saurophaganax is valid. I think most paleontologists lean Saurophaganax being valid, but there is a debate. It's not as controversial as Nanotyrannus, for example, but there is some debate. But Allosaurus definitely was one of those bigger predators in its environment in the Jurassic Morrison Formation. And I don't know if I'm really going to individually, like I said, I'm not going to probably review any of these figures individually, but if I ever review another Allosaurus, which there's a good chance because I picked up one for Christmas in a Christmas lot that I'll show off later in this video, I'll probably show off some of these in that video. But yeah, we'll show off some comparisons to these figures right now. Okay, I got some figures for some comparisons. So, obviously, we already showed off the baby Allosaurus. So, like I said, this one goes with this yellow Allosaurus. But other than that, here's some other comparisons. So, first, I've got the Groovy 2-book Allosaurus, which is pretty much just a knockoff or a copy of the bigger Safari Ltd Allosaurus. I really love this figure, even though it is pretty much just a copy. A few of the figures in that too, like the Spinosaurus in it's a copy of the old Carnegie Spinosaurus, but I really like that figure, even though it is just clearly a knockoff. And then I've got the old Carnegie Collection T-Rex, which is outdated because, I mean, it's old, but it goes really well with this Allosaurus. They both give me a very similar vibe as far as that old dinosaur, old Carnegie look, which I really like, even though, like I said, they are outdated. And then we've got a Carnegie Collection Diplodocus. This is a figure I recently reviewed. Let's see. We'll get a few of these off so I can show it off. But yeah, here it is with these Allosaurus figures. And like I said, I did recently review this figure on the channel. But yeah, it's a pretty big figure. And unfortunately, these figures do not scale together. I pulled out my little Safari pamphlet. The Diplodocus is 140 scale, and the Allosaurus is 135 scale. So if you don't know what that means this Allosaurus is actually too big. It should be a little smaller, which makes sense. I mean, Diplodocus is a huge sauropod, but like I said, the Allosaurus is just it's a little too big. I mean, if you want to say that this is a smaller Diplodocus and this is a really big Allosaurus, you could do that, but generally the Allosaurus would be a little bit smaller than this compared to a Diplodocus. But then we did get one more figure for comparisons, which is that figure that I mentioned you might see some of these figures reappearing because of, and that is, well, let's get these Allosauruses up first so I can show it off. Here it is. This is the most accurate Allosaurus I currently have. The PNSO Allosaurus. I'm not going to set it on the table so I don't have to worry about it falling. But, yeah, this Allosaurus is great. I definitely plan on reviewing this figure pretty soon. This and some of those Beasts of the Mesozoic figures that I got in that Christmas lot, which I'll put a link to. Definitely plan on reviewing some of those figures. They're just figures I haven't got around to reviewing yet. But this Allosaurus is super great. It's very accurate. But, whenever I do review this figure, I'll probably use some of these as comparisons for this figure. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll put an image of that old Allosaurus up on the new Safari Ltd Allosaurus here at the end of the video so you all can see what it looks like. But like I said, thank you all so much for watching, and I'm out.